Good evening and welcome to the December 14th, 2017 business meeting of the Putnam Valley Central School District Board of Education. Please rise as we salute our flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Start with resolution to approve the minutes of the November 16th, 2017 business meeting of the Board of Education.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. And I can get to this. We go with Pride in Putnam Valley.
I'm going to ask our athletic director, Mr. Burrow, and Mr. Zupan, who's the coach of the cross-country team, to assist in this presentation. Thank you. Would you tell us about Connor's achievements? Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So before I introduce Coach Jerry Zupan, I just want to say that we're here today, in essence, for the highlight, which is Connor reaching the state tournament. But the greater picture here, and the reason that it is such an honor for us to give him the pride in Putnam Valley today, is that he is such a well-rounded young man. He's respectful, and he takes care of everything he needs to do in the classroom. He's a true leader on the field, and all day, every day, all you do is see him train, and he has trained with a smile on his face. So this is an absolute honor for us to give Connor this award today. Jerry?
Thank you. Yeah, it's one of those athletes that you always kind of hope you always get, and very sad this year at the dinner to say, you know, this is the last time I had to kind of say this name and bring this name up. But it's great to see the younger guys and try to emulate Connor. You know, this season was ripped with a lot of injuries, and a lot of athletes would give up. A lot of athletes in the same situation, I feel, would get frustrated and say, nope, that's it, I'm done, I'm gonna kind of loathe in this and I'm not gonna try any harder. And that's the exact opposite with Connor. And it was great then to see him cross that finish line in the top 5 at the state qualifiers and really have an amazing season to come back on. And then to then make, 2 nights ago, make first team in the all-county selection, which has only happened with one other athlete in PV history. And so it was really, what was great was at our coaches meeting to try to decide who makes first team and second team. There was about 3 coaches who got up and talked about Connor before I did, and was said, no, this kid deserves to be on first team no matter what happens. And that's from not just one race or just one really good season. That's from 4 years of complete dedication. So it's an honor to have him as an athlete on my team, and it's been amazing to watch him grow the program. So congratulations, Connor.
Connor, please come up. Connor, I am so honored to give to you the pride in Putnam Valley as a cross-country athlete 2017 state championship qualifier, presented December 13th, 2017.
So now for some fun facts, we're going to hear about a budget timeline.
Okay, so it's budget time again. We're going to take a look at the timeline quickly. We have to set the timeline and accept it. as the part of the opening part of the budget this year. So we should start our official conversations about the budget on January 4th. And Dr. Wells will give her budget initiatives for 2018-19 and proceed through the timeline with all of the different presentations from each of the schools and the departments. And then it's important to note that in adoption of the budget, we'd like to see that happen on April 12th. If we could, we always need time to prepare for the budget newsletter and get that out, and so that's an important key date to note when we're developing the budget. I don't know if anybody has any questions about the timeline or comments.
Well, my only question, it shouldn't be a question, a recommendation, so we don't have a repeat of this current year, that the schools get as much of their scheduling done prior to the date that we adopt a budget, so we're not forced to do something over the summer and kind of work within our budget. That's something that the principals need to work on to make sure their scheduling and all their needs are taken care of and brought to the board before we go and adopt that budget, and then while it's going out, find out there's issues. So that's something that I would recommend that we get the high schools, particularly because that's where the scheduling is most difficult. But other than that, I had nothing on it. Is that it? Okay. Then we have an update on later start time.
We've, as you know, we have been discussing the later start time for a year and a half, and this year we've been talking about our preparation to begin later start time in September 2018. And one of the major aspects of the start time that we had not yet completed were the schedules for the buses. And this was a tremendous job that was done by Lori Cara at the bus in our transportation office. She really did an enormous job in getting these done with Pat Bellino and Mike Koenig working to shape the process. But the detail work was done by Lori, and it is quite a remarkable process. As you know, the later start requires 4 additional buses, and this part of the cost of that was included in this year's budget so that we would be able to not have to expend the full amount in this year's. In other words, that we built toward it for this year. And once we have it in the budget, of course, we'll have to include it every year. That was about a $250,000 amount, $240,000 for the 4 additional buses that we would use each year. However, the benefit here is quite substantial in that what we're finding is that the routes are considerably shorter, and we had talked about this during the planning process, that they'd be more like neighborhoods, and that the routes are considerably shorter. So, for example, the Roaring Brook route starts 1 hour later and is about 25 minutes versus the 40-minute route. So this is an enormous change. In other words, for those students, that is an hour more of sleep. And for many of our students, that will be the case. The new routes run approximately 40 to 75 minutes later than the routes this year. So it is significant in terms of what the students will gain in terms of time. So these runs are prepared. and they will be going out to the public after the holidays in mid-January. So everyone will be able to see what their run will be. You will all have the opportunity, all Putnam Valley residents will have the opportunity to see how the route will change, what the route will be, and I think you'll be very pleased to see that some of these routes, you know, are, in some cases, I see routes of 8 minutes.
8 minutes. That's amazing.
I see routes of 13 minutes. I see nothing longer than 25 minutes. And that, when people question the issue of discipline on the buses, one of the major issues in discipline is the length of time you're on the bus. You don't have much time to get into trouble in a 13-minute ride. So I think there are many benefits here, even beyond the fact that we're starting later. And yes, there will be middle and high school students on the same bus. They are now, in many cases, in the afternoon as the high school students go home on middle school buses. But what we find is when high school students are on buses with the younger students, there's actually a moderating effect. And if you're on for only this short a time, really, I think that issue is something I do not see as one of the areas of concern. The area that students are concerned about has to do with their clubs, and we feel that we have a process that we're going to put into place for that. In the way that Mr. Trieri is looking at the schedule for next year with a unitary lunch, which will give an opportunity for clubs at certain times, so that there will be times to get together for that. Plus, the afternoon clubs still will exist. The one area that will change, that will be different, will be at the middle school, and that they will not be middle school, preschool clubs. And the clubs will be in the afternoon. So these are issues, though, that we intend to solve. There are problems that we intend to solve. Not everything can be solved immediately because some of the consequences you can't anticipate. You try to anticipate everything, but we know that we'll have to make adjustments, and we're prepared to make those adjustments. But I think that one of the best outcomes here has to do with these bus runs, and I think people will be very pleased with that. And we will be sending these out, as I said, mid-January, so people will have plenty of time to ask questions, to find out more if they have questions about the runs and so on. So it is not a surprise in September on day one. It's something that people will be able to know about and learn about prior to.
Dr. Wills, in these bus schedules, are they already planned which ones are going to be the larger buses and which ones won't be? Within this planning, it includes the larger buses and the because there's two sizes of buses.
Yeah, there are two sizes plus vans.
Right.
There are routes that include vans. For example, Canopus Hollow, Sunset Hill to District Line, Bell Hollow to the high school. It's an 18-minute run, and it's in a van. There were 13 on that bus, and then on that van. And then there were some others. Indian Lake Road, that's a van, 25 minutes. Peekskill Hollow Road is a 17-minute with a van. So there are four vans that will be part of these runs. And everyone will get to see all of these schedules. They'll be sent out to the public, emailed. I'm waiting till after the holidays when people can pay more attention. Right now, people are paying attention to the holidays, so afterward they'll have the time to look at, on one of these snowy nights, people will send them out before a snowy night, and people will have a chance to go through them. So that's where we are as our update on the later start. Any questions? Any other questions?
Then we have school calendar.
So the next subject is our annual school calendar preview. This is sort of the preview. This is our first draft of the calendar. And there isn't too much that is really unusual about the calendar. We would start with our superintendent's conference day on August 30th, which is a Thursday. And that would leave a 4-day weekend this is more to do with staff. And they would have their staff day. And then students would start the day after Labor Day, which is September 4th. The holidays are all on weekdays, which does somewhat impact where the days fall later on in the year. So the September holidays do fall during school days, weekdays. We are looking at what is going to be known in the calendar from the beginning is, with the board's approval, we would like to have 4 planned delayed openings for professional development. Now, clearly, if we have a great deal of snow, we might not be able to do that last one. We would not want to have too many delayed openings if we have a lot of snow delays. But the idea is to have the professional development. We've tried this with the early dismissal, but the delayed opening may be something that people can prepare for more easily. Parents can prepare for more easily. We have, in this calendar, you'll see that February has just 2 days. Remember, we've been shortening our February break. This includes the Monday and the Tuesday, and that gives us a little bit of flexibility in our calendars when we have all the days. We don't have to worry so much about the buildup of snow days because we're in school during February. And our April break includes the holidays for Easter, so that is included in the holiday, the April week, and also the Passover holiday is in that weekend. So that is one that was more convenient and easier to develop. There is a conference day scheduled for March, but if we have a problem with snow, that's one of the days that we can look at. We also have weather makeup days beginning with in the spring break. That would be where our weather makeup, if we absolutely need them. But again, we're making sure that we have a lot of days built in early, which helps us. And school ends, the last day of school is the 21st of June. I don't think there'll be too many major questions about this calendar.
Is this BOCES calendar as of now?
Yes. There are a couple of days that are different from BOCES, but for example, BOCES is only going to have the Monday in February that they are off.
And I see in here you have the 29th and 30th as superintendent conference days, but only the 29th is marked. I mean, the 30th is marked.
The 30th, yeah.
It says on...
Oh, that's right, that's an error.
Okay.
Yeah.
They take it out.
This was an early draft.
Gotcha.
We were thinking of 2, but we've changed it to 1.
Anybody have anything to offer? Okay. This might be an easy year.
And it's consistent with the BOCES calendar?
Yes.
This is different. Should I just be saying to let everybody know that there is a treasurer's report available in the business office? Because it's an agenda item here.
Yes.
Okay.
It would be the
October 2017.
October one, yes.
And we move on to reports. Go to the students first.
The PTSA held their annual book fair event at Barnes & Noble this past Friday. The high school a cappella group sang some holiday-themed songs in celebration of the upcoming holidays. Additionally, a saxophone quartet performed a selection of tunes that put everyone in the holiday spirit. Members of the National English Honor Society also attended in support of the initiative. Thank you to everyone who was involved in this fantastic event.
The PVMA Variety Show was held last week with another sold-out performance. Families and kids among all ages enjoyed this fun-filled tradition once again and are looking forward to next year's show.
Thank you to Zeiss Microscopy for their generous donation of a microscope to our science program here at the high school. The microscope will be instrumental in providing hands-on, valuable learning experiences that are also important in the science subjects.
Sabrina Gierman created a beautiful Aspire painting that gives a good representation of what our school stands for. It is now showcased in the Senior Junior Lounge for all to enjoy.
Congratulations to Jasper Katzban, who was recently named a National Merit Commended Student. To achieve this honor, Jasper had to score exceptionally high on his PSATs. Congratulations on the great work.
The high school had a wonderful opportunity to see Premier Hispanic Ballet Company give a special performance right here in our PAC. The Ballet Hispanico brings communities together to celebrate and explore Latino cultures through innovative productions, transformative dance training, and community engagement. The students thoroughly enjoyed this performance and are grateful to have had the opportunity to see them dance.
Congratulations to Darnell Shillingford, John Listwan, and Jason White, who are all honored for their football accomplishments this season. Darnell Shillingford was named PCNR's Player of the Year. John Listwan and Jason White made the top 10 list. This is an impressive accomplishment, so congratulations to all three of them.
The Gratitude Festival was held a few weeks ago and was a huge success. We had many great performers who sang solos, read poems, and even gave instrumental performances.
And finally, there's a coat drive going on at the high school running until the 22nd of December. Drop off your new or gently used winter attire, including men's, women's, and children's coats or hats and gloves. The box is outside of the Performing Arts Center. Thank you.
Thanks. Now, representative from the PTA, PTSA for report.
Hi, my name is Monica Borgi. I'm representing the PTA. The PTA is hosting the Middle School Student of the Month breakfast tomorrow morning. Congratulations to the recipients. The Film Raiser offer has been extended for the month of December when you purchase your tickets to see the movie Wonder through our Given Fandango link. Part of your purchase benefits the Putnam Valley PTA. Also, just in time for the holidays, Shutterfly is offering 13% back to the Putnam Valley PTA with every purchase made through the specialized link. These links for these fundraisers were emailed out to all our members, but can also be found on our website and Facebook page. Tomorrow night, we invite all the first grade families to our first grade pajama and Lego party at 7 p.m. in the elementary school cafeteria. Cost is $10 per family. Please purchase tickets through our website. Don't forget to wear your comfy pajamas. This Saturday, we are hosting one of our most loved events, the Holiday Reads, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the elementary school. Come and celebrate the holiday season and reading with snacks, crafts, games, and of course, our favorite holiday books. Middle and high school students can also receive community service hours for volunteering at this event. Also, just recently underway is our 4th grade Spirit Committee and our 4th grade Yearbook Committee. If you are interested to volunteer for any of these events or committees, please visit our Putnam Valley webpage at www.putnamvalleypta.org or email us at info@putnamvalleypta. You can also like us on our Facebook page and for more information and upcoming events. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Will, Superintendent's report.
I would like to just repeat one of the things, or a couple of things that were said, because they were so special, and that was the Barnes & Noble experience, where he had so many members of the community at Barnes & Noble that evening last Friday. It was really something, and they came to hear the students and to buy books and to just be together. It was a lovely, really a lovely community event, and appreciate the students very much showing up and performing. It was really wonderful. And the other one was the holiday sing at the Senior Center, where again our chorus came, and it was just a joyful, carefree experience, something that makes you see the connections between the community and the families, and there were grandparents there at the Senior Center, and the students were enjoying themselves with these seniors, and I thought that was really wonderful. There was a lot of spontaneity, and the music and the good cheer was just what you would want to see at the holiday. I would also like to mention that we had some visitors to our Mandarin Chinese program this week, and the district superintendent from BOCES, as well as a curriculum director from Bronxville, looking at this program. And there was a wonderful response from them to this really remarkable opportunity that our students have in 7th grade this year, those who've decided to take the Mandarin Chinese course. The kids were so engaged that Dr. Ryan from BOCES apparently spoke to his board about it, and he has a video clip that has been showing all of the department heads at BOCES of the fact that these students were so involved in this virtual program. But the teacher is right there, and she's a very special teacher, Ping Maroney, very special in how she gets the students engaged. And Ralph was there as well, and I think he...
There's so much cultural learning there involved. It's really, really amazing, and the students are so well engaged, and you come away from seeing it as, boy, I wish I could take this class, because it's really, really so interesting, and everything is new and a learning experience. It's just so new and such a learning experience. It was really great.
And I want to really compliment also our teacher assistant, Lynn Sharp, who is there and who really facilitates a lot of the brushes that are used for calligraphy, getting everything ready. And the teacher sends all these things to the school, and it's all integrated so well. And the technology as well works beautifully. So we're very proud of the program, and we will have another group coming in starting in 7th grade. This group will move to 8th grade next year. We also hope that everyone will take a look at our newsletter, the newsletter that the district has published online, and we have copies spread throughout the community. There is a lot to see in our school district, a lot to read about, the kinds of activities we're engaged in, our students are engaged in, all of the initiatives are covered. And I think it's something that once you look at it, you'll see that you can't help but feel the excitement in what we're doing here and what our teachers and our students are up to. On a more somber note, I do feel that as a school district, I must mention that this is the 5th anniversary of Sandy Hook. And I mention it because Sandy Hook changed a lot of the way we think about safety in schools and security in schools. And I have sent something out to the community. I do want to urge you all to look at their website, the Sandy Hook Family website, which has a profile of all of the students and the teachers and the principal and so on who lost their lives that day. And I think it's important to honor that and to remember that, we are all responsible, if you will, to try to create the most secure environment we can. We take this very seriously for our students. And now we're working also on, really hard on social emotional issues, trying to recognize and help students where we see that there are problems going forward in their lives. We're taking that aspect of learning very seriously. I think a lot of that came out of Sandy Hook as well. So I don't know if I can get to that website just to show you what it looks like, because it's really quite beautiful. I won't go into any of it, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like if I could. It's called Sandy Hook.
Sandy Hook Promise or Sandy Hook Family?
That's it. So this is the website, and each of the names is there, the 26 victims, and you can simply, click on each one and learn about these students, who they were, and the educators. And I think it's humbling, and I think it's important that we remember. And on behalf of those parents and the family members of all of those who lost their lives.
And in this holiday season, I wish all of you a blessed year.
Move on to the curriculum report, Dr. Luft.
Thank you. This year we invested some money in updating our TV studio. With some irony, my first item is our Discover video streaming server, which may replace that thing that we apparently broke before the meeting. So that's been configured and ready for us to begin using it for production, and I know that Dan and Mike have been instrumental in getting that up and running. But I think it's a modern alternative for what we used to use to broadcast the old TV studio directly to the TVs. And now this will allow us to broadcast it directly to computers, not just in the high school, but even across buildings if we wanted to. So look for that starting to be rolled out. And I know there's lots of other options that may fix what we broke today. I recently attended an IB training for administrators. It was really eye-opening to be in a room with, I was actually the only person there from an applicant school. Everyone else was in school districts that have been an IB for 15 and 20 years. But I learned a lot. Some of the areas in which we focused on were scheduling, financing, retention, and delivery. So I feel much more well-informed, and I know that others have been attending sessions as well as we move towards our rollout for IB. Our AIS needs have changed recently in the middle school. Rather than appointing point ones or point twos to fill those positions, we were able to make some schedule changes to existing personnel and fill both an AIS, ELA, and math position to meet the student needs within that building. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend the variety show because I was at the IB training, but I heard nothing but rave reviews. I was watching some of the videos on my phone while away, and I know one of our stars of the show is here tonight. I don't assume you came prepared for an act, right?
Ralph Smith.
Two, it's all right. We have multiple stars here.
You have to come next year.
Next year, I'll be there. I attended the TREC program a couple times this year. We've talked about this new TREC program. It used to be the PASS program. And I stopped in the class and talked to the teacher and met with some of the students. And I was really excited to see they were actually working on soda bottle rockets. And the students, their ability to explain the thought that went into their design, what they learned, how they think it's going to work, I left really impressed. Along the same lines, the teacher, Mr. Danko, wrote a letter expressing some of the views that students had entering the program. And there was certainly a lot of hesitancy of students when they were asked to participate. And Mr. Danko actually shared a letter that was written to him by a student, one of those students who was very hesitant to join, about how much joy and fun and how much he's learning in the program. So it just shows the impact that having these different alternative approaches to learning for these students, and it's really taking off. So kudos to everyone involved in that program for making it happen each day. Slightly less exciting, I went to each of the buildings with Dr. Wills to do presentations on the continuing teacher and leadership education program. That's the new 100-hour requirements for our professional staff. We've held several facilities planning committee meetings, and now we begin to roll them out. We're scheduled to present at faculty meetings in each of the buildings where we'll seek additional teacher input, and we've begun to work with architects to get high-level budgetary numbers, so more information on facilities to come, but our work is well on the way. Our district office held our open house, so we recently moved to the modulars up behind the elementary school and hosted an open house. I was actually very impressed by the number of people who came to visit us. I think it was for the free refreshments, but anyway, they came and got to see the new office. At the elementary school, I had the pleasure of attending with several others at the table, the first grade winter concert. We have some well-dressed first graders, and I was very impressed. Being a father of a 6-year-old myself, I'm not really sure how they get 100 of them to stand still, sit still, and follow directions all at the same time. I struggle with one, but it was very impressive. The students enjoyed it, the parents enjoyed it, and the parents got to go to the classrooms afterwards. Our elementary school staff has written their Yale Ruler Charter, and it's available for teachers to sign in their faculty room. So that work continues to roll out, and now staff has shifted to getting to know the meta moments, which is opportunities for them to address when you're not in the right mood. How do you get yourself to where you want to be.
Just a footnote that the newsletter that I mentioned earlier really contains a lot of information on Ruler and even a meta moment so that you understand more, the community will understand more about what we're trying to accomplish.
At the elementary school, grade level teams have been working on student work analysis, and AIS teachers have been working on assessment, creation, and revision. I talked to Mr. Coleman. He's working with a group of teachers to create visual aids for mathematics. When you walk in our elementary school classrooms, there's a tremendous amount of print material on the walls for reference for students, but a vast majority of that material is ELA focused. So Mr. Coleman's working with teachers to create visual aids for students in the realm of math. In technology, we continue to work with a consultant from BOCES with a focus on implementation of Google Classroom, and character education continues at the elementary school. Their current theme is There's Only One You. At the middle school, we have a 7th grade teacher who has students working with one another through Google Slides and using Kahoot and QuizApp. The community garden has a fence installed. I just want to acknowledge the teachers and students and Mr. Bellino for making that happen. So it's in the courtyard between the main building and the cafeteria. It's fenced in, and I know in the spring they're eager to start with the planters and to get some stuff growing. Our technology teacher at the middle school is working on authentic projects where students are helping to design what that community garden will look like, as well as the as well as the art room, and creating a budget for what renovations to that room may look like. The middle school is currently holding a food drive. I know Dr. Wells had spoke about the Mandarin Chinese. They held their parent-teacher conference, and they held it in the same way that the students, they held it virtually, and the feedback from the parents was very well received. And we spoke a little bit about Bronxville and BOCES coming to visit our program. We had a group of administrators and teachers from Scarsdale come visit our one-to-one program at the middle school. Part of what they saw was a demonstration from the students on Ms. Sherwood's I-team. They were left very, very impressed. We've heard very positive feedback, and I've already had several conversations with their director of technology on what takeaways they got from us and as they look to move towards their own one-to-one program. The middle school had a cultural awareness presentation. The homework club is underway. I was over there the other day, and a great number of high school students came over to work with the middle school students on homework. We have a new guidance counselor, a leave replacement, at Jennifer Del Olio, who's working with Encore classes on kindness and effective communication. And the jewelry club run by Leanne Johnson has teamed up with the Make a Difference Club at the high school, and they're making special Make-A-Wish bracelets to raise money for the victims of Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico. The cost is $3 and sold during lunch periods. At the high school, we entered into a collaboration with Westchester Community College. We have 13 students who signed up for an after-school game design class held at the WCC Extension site in Peekskill. The 10-week course runs from January 31st to April 4th and will provide transportation that covers the fees. But we met with WCC. There's a wide range of courses that they offer at that extension, and we hope to continue that partnership in the future. IB is moving towards authorization. All department coordinators visited Dobbs Ferry High School on December 5th and will continue to investigate aspects of the IB program. The training is underway. 9 staff have been trained so far as we move towards the implementation in the 1920 school year. And our IB consultant is coming in January to work with our high school staff and administration to develop policies, language policy, assessment policy, academic honesty policy, and special needs policy. And our coordinator, Matt Mello, has made connections with several other coordinators around the country and sharing their policies with us. So that'll give us a head start. We made some tweaks to the block schedule, specifically around if there's any snow delays. Not that that ever happens in Putnam Valley, but they decided to not revert back to the 9-period day, which was originally planned, to stick with the block scheduled days, just the shortened blocks. So I think that speaks volumes to how well the block schedule is going at the high school and how well received it's been. The high school has collegial circle of teachers. 20 teachers have so far signed up. These teachers will get together regularly and discuss best practices and share ideas for working within the block schedule. A literacy circle of 6 ninth grade teachers, led by Mr. Lathrop, are meeting once a month to focus on reading strategies for the current 9th grade. All the coordinators met to discuss a rollout of digital portfolios and how to implement them for all students in grades 9 through 12. And we're looking forward to a couple new courses on the horizon. One course we're looking at is AP Computer Science, and I know we're exploring offering other electives in the STEM realm. And looking ahead, midterms, January 26th, 27th, and 28th. Thanks.
Thank you. And now we are open to public comment on agenda items.
Hi, I'm Barbara Parmley. I just wanted to, this will be the third shout out for the PTSA book fair, but I went. First of all, the Putnam Valley Fire Department was outside Barnes & Noble, so, I mean, I think that, I guess what I'm trying to say is this was a like total community, not just a high school event, it was a total community event. I'm pretty sure, I came a little late, but I'm pretty sure that the elementary school chorus
Yes.
also sang.
Oh, yes.
Mrs. Calhoun was there with her students. The middle school chorus also sang, and their teacher was there. And then there were the high school gift wrappers, you know, they would wrap your books. So I left them with a bag of, I don't know, 7 or 8 books. And I walked back to listen to the children sing, and I'm sitting there and thinking, no, they're going to be all wrapped, and I'm not going to know which is which. But when I went back, they had put little Post-its on each of the books that said what, you know, part of the title of the book. So I knew what they were without unwrapping them. So, you know, congratulations to those clever high school kids that were wrapping the books. But really, a total community. It's not just, well, these are high school kids, the high school is doing it on their own. It was like a total community thing, and I think that's great. So.
Thank you. And on to new business with number 1.
Resolved that the Board of Education of the Putnam Valley Central School District establishes the attached document number 89/18, attached to the agenda and official minutes of this meeting, as standard work days for appointed officials, and will report the day's work to the New York State and local employees retirement system based on the timekeeping system records maintained for the 2017-18 school year.
Second.
Questions or comments?
This is for the district clerk, the treasurer, the assistant treasurer, and the tax collector. We're officially saying what their time is, so this will go into the retirement records and everything else, something we never did have to do before.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 2.
Resolved on recommendation of the superintendent of schools to accept the resignation for the purpose of retirement of Laura Hirsch from the district, effective the close of business on June 30th, 2018, as per document number 90/18, attached to the agenda and official minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Questions or comments?
Just to say that I can't even imagine the high school without the cheerleader there all the time, Laura Hirsch, helping in many different ways. And I know that she'll be missed, and she is going to be with her grandchild, and we wish her very well, but we will certainly miss Laura.
I think along the same lines, or although not officially appointed, so I don't believe so, her husband, Tommy Hirsch, has been instrumental working with the athletics department and offers an invaluable service to the school district at no cost, filming games and loading up the videotapes. So I know that will also be lost. He said he's been working to train Brian for 5 years now, so I think Brian's almost up to speed. But he's certainly an asset and sort of lives behind the scenes in many aspects, but I know offers a very valuable service to the district.
I think he said he might still be there occasionally. We hope.
That's what I would suggest, since he is in fact not hired, since he does this all voluntary, that he cannot retire.
Yeah.
Therefore must continue, because he is unbelievable, as well as his wife.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 3.
Resolved on recommendation of the superintendent of schools to accept the resignation of Pat Bellino from the district effective the close of business on June 29, 2018, as per document 9618, attached to the agenda and official minutes of this meeting.
Questions or comments?
I read this one with deep regret.
I'm going to second that.
Yes, and I would like to read what I sent out to
Please
the
do.
public today because I would like it on the record. I would like to make sure this is on the record because Pat has done so much for our school district. Just this morning, I received my customary 4:20 a.m. call from Pat Bellino, our Director of Operations, Technology, and Transportation, to let me know that the recommendation of our transportation and maintenance crew and the Putnam Valley Highway Department was to implement a 2-hour delay. These early morning conversations culminate in a message to the community and are always supportive and helpful in making the appropriate decision related to weather. It's comforting at 4:20 to have Pat making a recommendation, and I always feel very certain when I talk to my fellow superintendents a little while later, and some of them are not sure. We're usually pretty sure on what we have to do. Mr. Bellino has decided he will be leaving the district at the end of the school year, and that determination is reflected on tonight's Board of Education agenda. The role that Mr. Bellino has held in improving our facilities and operations in the district over the past 5 years has been instrumental in my own efforts on behalf of students, staff, and community. His care for the students and community has been evident for many years. During that time, we have seen his love of the performing arts and his initiatives in continuing to advance the technology and the capacity of our music and arts departments, arts programs, as well as our science labs and all of the facilities that support learning. He's been devoted to supporting educational initiatives recommended by principals and teachers, as is evident in many changes at all of our schools, such as the outdoor classroom at the elementary school, garden projects at each facility, the turf field at the middle high school campus, the efficient move of the district office to create space for classrooms at the high school. Mr. Bellino has also helped champion and support the high school Later Start project. The district office space has proved to be an effective and efficient solution to the need that was expressed at the end of the last school year. Most recently, Mr. Bellino has facilitated the board's desire for an energy performance contract that would model a commitment to sustainability and energy conservation. We cannot overlook Mr. Bellino's pride in the Putnam Valley schools and the community, demonstrated in his leadership of an exceptional team of custodians, technology specialists, and transportation personnel, clearly dedicated to the high level of maintenance and cleanliness commonly noted by all visitors to our school campuses. I also have to remark that Mr. Bellino has been very active in all of our security measures here in all of our schools, including the single point of entries and the special security entrances, all of the other various portions of the school entry that are located where we have the double entry, so that we have, again, all of the kinds of recommendations that have been made for security have been implemented here at our schools. So, you know, that's an area that we've really benefited, where we've benefited from Mr. Bellino's experience and knowledge in these things. Therefore, please join me in thanking Mr. Bellino for his service over many years, as he continues during this school year to ensure the well-run operation of our school district's facilities, transportation, and technology.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 4.
Resolved on recommendation of the superintendent of schools to appoint Kimberly Gomez to a 7-month leave replacement position as a teacher at the elementary school, effective November 27th, 2017 through June 30th, 2018, or sooner at the discretion of the Board of Education, on Step 1 BA of the PVFT salary schedule. Ms. Gomez holds childhood education 1 to 6 and students with disabilities 1 to 6 initial certifications.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Number 5.
Resolved on recommendation of the superintendent of schools to appoint Michelle Gabelli to a 12-week long-term substitute special education teacher at the elementary school effective November 27, 2017 through on or about February 19, 2018 at the discretion of the Board of Education at a rate of $160 per day. Ms. Gabelli holds student with disabilities 1 through 6 initial certification.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
6.
Resolved on recommendation of superintendent of schools to approve Beverly Whalen for an assignment which is in addition to her full-time assignment to provide multi-sensory instruction to a student for up to 4 40-minute sessions per week at her contractual rate effective December 15, 2017.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Number 7.
Resolved on recommendation of the superintendent of schools to amend the October 12, 2017 and November 16, 2017 appointments of Sarah Roberts as follows. To appoint Sarah Roberts to a .4 full-time equivalent part-time position as a speech-language therapist on Step 3 MA, effective November 20th, 2017 through June 30th, 2017. Ms. Roberts holds professional certification in speech and language disabilities.
Second.
Questions or comments?
We incorrectly appointed her not at Step 3 Masters. We actually just had a salary state, so that was our mistake, and that's what's being amended.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 8.
Resolved on recommendation of the superintendent of schools to amend the appointment approved at the October 26, 2017 meeting at the Board of Education for Alyssa Origema and approve her for a .1 adaptive physical education assignment at the middle school effective October 27, 2017 through June 2018 or sooner at the discretion of the Board of Education at her contractual rate of pay prorated. This assignment is in addition to the staff member's full-time teaching assignment.
Second.
Questions or comments?
The amendment here is that we originally appointed her that this would only happen on B&D days, and now it's basically just going to happen.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 9.
Resolved on recommendation of superintendent of schools to appoint Phyllis Collin to a .15 eligible one lab teaching position effective January 2nd, 2018 at her contractual rate of pay prorated, which is in addition to her full-time teaching assignment in the district.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Number 10.
Resolved on recommendation of the superintendent of schools to approve a proposal for the world language speaking exams. 51 40-minute periods, the equivalent of 34 curriculum stipend hours, at the curriculum rate of pay as per document number 92/18 attached to the agenda and official minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Number 11.
Resolved on recommendation of the superintendent of schools to change the middle school RN position from a school calendar position to a 10-month position and appoint Jacqueline Leclerc, currently in the position, to the 10-month position effective January 2nd, 2018 at Step 5 of the CSEA salary schedule for a 10-month RN.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Number 12.
Resolved on recommendation of the superintendent of schools to adopt the 2018-19 school year budget timeline as per document 9718 attached to the agenda and the official minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Questions or comments?
This was the timeline that Ms. Jill put up in the beginning of the meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 13.
Resolved on recommendation of the superintendent of schools to appoint Nicholas Ivazic to a probationary appointment as a cleaner in the district effective January 2nd, 2018 through July 2nd, 2018, extendable to January 1st, 2019 on Step 1 of the CSEA salary schedule.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Move on to the consent agenda. Item 1.
Resolved to approve the consent agenda items 2 through 13 as presented to the board at this meeting.
Second,
Questions or comments?
we're approving CSE, CPSE placements. We're amending the salaries for our high school club appointees. We're approving postseason coaching stipends for the head varsity coaches for the girls swimming and the varsity coach for the cross-country team. We're approving a consulting agreement with PPS Services for people and parents with troubles in schools. We're amending the coaching stipends for the cheerleaders coach. We incorrectly appointed it for the fall and it was for the winter. We're approving in-service credit hours for staff members. We're approving 2 budget transfers, approximately $17,000 from the expenditure code for hospital and medical insurance, and we're moving that to operations of special products, and that's to cover the reconstruction of the audio system in the middle school. And we're moving $100 for tuition settlement from accounts code, health and medical, to private school tuitions to cover the costs for students' legal settlements. We're approving additions to the substitute tutor list. We're approving pay for staff members to accompany Putnam Valley students who taking a special class in Peekskill. We're approving an overnight trip for the wrestling team for this weekend for a tournament in Long Island. We're approving a medical leave for an employee who will be retiring at the end of the school year. And we're amending the appointment of a second grade level coordinator. The current appointment is retiring and we are appointing a replacement.
All in favor?
Aye.
And now, public comment on any topic, anything from the board? Anything from our vast audience? Then we will move on. Resolve to approve the, sorry? Nope, that's not what I was looking for. There he is. Resolve to convene an executive session for one matter of collective negotiations pursuant to Article 14 of the Civil Service Law, the Caleb Law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There will be no business discussed after the meeting. And happy holidays, even though you won't see this until after the holidays.